Hello and welcome to the Craft Your Marketing Q&A. Today I wanted to answer some of your questions about the course because it is the last day to join Craft Your Marketing and get a free copy of my book. So before that bonus ends, I wanted to answer any questions that you might have. So welcome. If you're watching this on my site, then you see there is a little chat box right below this video. Hopefully you've hit play on the video. That's the only way you're going to be able to watch it. I'm also doing this live on Periscope. So if you're watching in both places, stop it and just watch in one place. So there's a little chat box. If you're watching on a mobile phone on my site, not on Periscope, you will see the chat show up as like a ticker underneath the video. And so you just tap it and you'll be taken into the chat where you can ask your question. It'll actually take you to a page where the video isn't live, but once you type in your question, come back to the page where the video is. On mobile phones, you can't do both at the same time. And right under the chat room is a link for Craft Your Marketing. So if as I'm describing it or I answer your question, you realize you want to buy it, you can just click right there. You can register and pay the full price. That's what the big pink button is. Or you can join with payment plan. There's a link under that. You can also click the link that says Craft Your Marketing and you'll be taken to the whole page for all of the details if you need more details. Okay, so let's get started. Hello. If you're watching on my site, say hello in the chat room so I know you're there. If you're watching on Periscope, say hello so I know that you are there. I'm going to test the video really quick. Hopefully it won't mess up the sound. Periscope, say hello. Okay, excellent. It's working. Huzzah! People do have to click play. Hi, Allison. Hello, my happy hands. Hello, Mary Margaret. Can you guys hear my dog in the background? That's him trying to get into the cabinet where the trash is kept. But it has a child lock on it, so he can't open it. So he just like bats against it. Only when he thinks I'm busy. So hi, guys. Welcome, everybody. Say hello in the chat if you're watching live. I can see people are there. Type in. It's a little white box. It says type here to send message, and then just hit enter to send the message if you're watching on my site. Hello, Marcia, and everybody who's watching on Periscope. Welcome. So, so I want to tell you a couple things and answer some of the questions that I got via email, and then you guys can type in your questions to me, okay? The first one is, I want to explain that Craft Your Marketing is a 5-week course that is delivered via email. So you are going to get a welcome email as soon as you join. Then if you join by today, I'm going to pop this in the mail to you tomorrow, but you'll also get a link to the PDF copy of the book so that you can start reading it right away. Your next message will come the next day, and that'll be your first lesson. That'll be your first lesson. And then after that, every 4 days, you'll get a resource email, and then once a week, you'll get your lesson. So if you started on a Monday, you get your first lesson every Monday, and then you get a resource email on Fridays. That's how we originally ran the course. Now it starts whenever you've started. So whenever you click buy, it'll immediately start, which is pretty cool. You don't have to wait for a specific day of the week. So because it's delivered via email, it includes the lessons in the email and links to download the audio files, download the transcripts, download the worksheets, and then links to just resources every Friday or every 4 days. I send a list of resources related to that week's message. So those you just can visit. They're like things that my students have shared with me. Some of them are blog posts or podcast episodes or things that shaped how I think about marketing or my or books that I've read. They're just extra resources so you can even dig deeper, because I've had several students go through Craft Your Marketing a couple times at different stages in their business. So I want to give everybody something to get even more out of it. Now, because it's delivered via email, because it has links to download things, that means you have access to the materials forever as long as you've saved them. So it was one of the questions I got in the chat box is, how long will we have access to the class? And the answer is, as long as you save it, you have access to it forever. So the other thing is that when we make updates, we email everybody about the updates. So some people bought this class when it was offered in 2015. They have the option of taking this class again. We've just updated some things, but haven't made big changes. We've made a lot of we made all the PDFs prettier, and the audios are edited and they have their own little audio intro. But so we'll let you know when we make any changes. So if I make changes and I announce it and I launch it again as a student, you will automatically get the upgrades. You'll never have to buy it again. That said, one of the questions I got was, if you're in Liftoff or Starship, this course is what you've had access to, but no one else outside of the Starship or Liftoff, my online programs, have had access to it. So if you're in Liftoff or Starship, don't buy this program. You already have it. Okay, this is just me making what was a part of those communities available for everybody at a smaller price point than what those communities are. So I'm hoping it makes it more practical for people who perhaps have bought the book or the map making guide but aren't ready yet for Liftoff or Starship. Fixing your marketing could be a big way of you increasing your sales and being able to like move forward and have a bigger business. So got some email questions. Do you guys have, no, okay, good. They were just emails about other things. Do you guys have any questions about the course that I have not answered? I want to make clear, if you're watching on the website, there's a big pink button to register. And if you're watching on Periscope, you go to tarasweiger.com/CYM to read more about Craft Your Marketing. Today is the last day to join and get a free copy of the book. So everybody who joins by today will get a free copy, and someone just bought. So thank you so much. Yay. Do you guys have any questions? If you are watching the video, I want you to type it into the chat box. If you're watching on Periscope, ask me your questions. I get asked the question a lot, is this for me? So if that's your question, tell me what kind of business you have, and then ask me if it's for you. So, I wanted to tell you, if you are watching the video, you can share this page with your friends. I meant to include a click to tweet on here, but if you are looking at the bottom, there's like a white bar that has like a thumbs up or a tweet or a Pinterest. You can share this page with your friends. Where this video is now will be the replay later. So invite your friends if they have questions. And if you're watching on Periscope, you can just share the Periscope. So any questions about Craft Your Marketing, about if it's right for you, if this is what you need, welcome everybody who's coming in. I can see my numbers in both places going up. So welcome. I'm answering questions about the course, Craft Your Marketing, which is open now. And today is the last day to buy it and get a free copy of my book. I organize craft fairs. I don't sell a product and not sure if this would work for me. Jolie says, could this help tech editors wondering how to use social media websites to get clients? Okay, so two questions. One is you organize craft shows, and the second one is tech editors, knitting tech editors. Okay, I'm putting them in my brain so I can remember to answer both of them. All right, so craft show organizer. Yes, actually, I worked with a craft show organizer and in Cleveland and taught a version of this to her and all of her vendors. And she got a lot out of it because you need to know how to talk about your event. You said, I'm actually watching your Creative Live class, Marketing for Crafters. How similar is this course? That's another good question. Okay, so I got 3 questions on deck. Hold on a minute before you type in your question. If you've got a question, I'll open it back up, but I don't want to forget any of them. How similar is it to Creative Live? So I'm going to answer craft show organizer, tech editors, and then how similar is it to Creative Live? Craft show organizer, yes. So I've taught it to a craft show organizer and her vendor. She had me come to Cleveland and teach it to the whole group, and they got tons out of it because what you need as an organizer is for your vendors to do good marketing too. You need them to tell their people that they need to come to your event. So I shifted it a little bit when I taught it live to focus more on getting people out to live events. Now, the thing about this book and class, because they work together, is I write it specifically to makers, but I talk about your product. So your product as a craft show organizer is your craft show, right? So you need to know what makes it special, why people should come, who are the people who come. So as a craft show organizer, you have 2 goals. You want to reach the best vendors and have the best vendors, but you also want to reach the buyers who are going to buy the things that your vendors sell, right? I'm guessing that's your challenge. So you need to be both marketing to makers to get the best people there, and you also need to be marketing to the end buyer who are not makers and probably not in the craft community. Yes. Okay. So that is, you need to go through the same process that everybody goes through when they make a marketing plan. Identifying what's special, identifying who your people are, and then identifying a plan and tools to reach those people. Now, I talk in the book about both offline and online marketing. I think I split up the chapters like that. So when you're choosing what tool to share your work, as an organizer, you're probably going to reach a lot of your vendors online using online tools. And I'm guessing you're going to reach a lot of your buyers offline because they're local. So I talk about using both. And then the thing about it is it's not theory about what you should do. It's not telling you what specifically to do. It's asking you questions so that you come up with what you should do to reach your people. So you will end it with a plan that works for you, not everybody should do X and Y. So long answer to say, yes, you can absolutely apply this if you're a craft show organizer. And I actually know at least one, but actually now that I think of it, there's another one in another area of Ohio that used the book to make her marketing plan. So yes, that's a short answer. Secondly, Jolie asked, is it for, I think you said, can tech editors use it to share, to reach their people, and their people are knitting designers who hire tech editors. You're welcome, Monica. I'm glad that, I hope that answer was helpful and helps you decide. Tech editors, their people are the knitwear designers, right? That's who their customers are. So absolutely, yes. They need to go through the exact same marketing process. They need to define what makes tech editing useful and good, and then find the knitters who they most can serve. And I think it's important, and Jolie actually has a course. So it's joliecreates.com is where she is. She has a course where she helps tech editors become tech editors and become good at it. And the thing is, different tech editors are good and skilled at different kind of patterns, I imagine. And so you want to find and work with the knitters you're going to, or crocheters or weavers or whatever, that you are going to be best skilled at helping, and getting clear on that and finding out where they are and what kind of hashtags they use on Instagram and what kind of blogs that they read. That's going to help you find them. They always want to know what's next. Yes, to find work. Okay, so that's the thing. What's next to find work once you figure out how to become a tech editor is to market their work. Jolie, we need to do a joint webinar for tech editors, I think. Because yes, you can absolutely refer them to Craft Marketing. So it will help them create their marketing plan. And the first part, maybe the first lesson, will be really easy for a tech editor, or very straightforward, because all tech editors are going to be similar, and that what they do is make your pattern better. But then as we get deeper into you and what's going to work for you and what tools are going to work for you, and who you want to work with, that's where you're going to set yourself apart from other tech editors. So it's super key for everyone. Forget tech editors. Everyone. If you want to get more work working with clients, you need to identify who they are, where they are, and then make a plan for reaching them. And that's what the course and book are going to help you do. That's what it's all about. Now, there's a third question about Creative Live. How similar is this to the class Creative Live? Well, here's the interesting thing. So there are actually 3 classes on Creative Live that's marketing for crafters. One is your customer path, one is make a plan, and one is, I'm not even sure. I recorded them all in 3 days, and they used to be sold as one piece, but now they're broken up into 3. So, hi. Hi, Brenda. I'm answering questions for people, just so you know. Let's refresh. I am answering on both YouTube and Periscope questions about my new course, Craft Marketing, because today is the last day to join it, and I will send you a free copy of my book signed from me. You need to join by the end of the today, and I will mail your book tomorrow morning. So I'm answering all your questions. So if you have been debating about it or thinking about it, I will let you know. Okay, so is it similar to the Creative Live class? You think I would have a more ready answer for the question. But the fact is, I developed that Creative Live class in 2014, and I developed Craft Your Marketing a full year later after learning even more and answering a lot of the questions I got via the Creative Live class. So it covers the same territory in that in making a marketing plan, you need to figure out the same basic things. Everyone who teaches discovering your marketing message or making your marketing plan is going to cover the same areas, which is what makes your work special, who are your people, how do you communicate what makes your work special to your people in the language they care about, and then what tools do you use to do that, and then making a plan to do it. So those foundational topics are covered in both the Creative Live classes and in Craft Your Marketing, but they are covered in totally different ways. So I think what you should do if you already own the Creative Live class, work through the entire workbook, do all of it, and then start implementing the plan. If you've got the part that's make your plan, then you've made your plan. If you just bought the first or the second day, then it doesn't actually walk you through creating your plan. It just starts asking you questions to get clear. If you've got the make your plan section, though, you're all ready to make your plan. Here's what I would tell you. If you own the Creative Live class, complete the class, do the workbooks, create the plan, implement the plan. And if you feel like you're still not clear, or things change, or you need to hear the information in another way to really get it, then later take Craft Your Marketing. But do not, everybody who's watching, do not just keep taking more and more classes. I want you to take what you've learned, whether it's with a class with me or with anyone else, and freaking put it to work. Implement that. Okay? Pull out what your actions you're going to take, and actually in Craft Your Marketing, there is an action guide to help you boil everything down into the things you are absolutely going to do. Use that action guide to decide on your actions and then go do them before you buy any other classes. Okay? Everybody on the same page, and you're all going to implement. Now, if you are watching on my website and you see the little chat box, I can see you're out there. If you have a question, type it into the chat box and hit enter to make it enter. And then it'll pop up and it'll say, like, do you want to be anonymous? You can just be anonymous. You'll see there are some questions from anonymouses earlier. Hello. Okay, and if you are watching on Periscope, ask me your questions now. I just answered 3 questions that came in via Periscope. Tap in your question. So in case you just got here, I'm Tara Spiker. I help makers and artists feel awesome about their work, and I'm answering questions specifically about my course, Craft Your Marketing, which opened last week, and today is the last day to buy it and get a copy of my book, Market Yourself, signed and shipped to you. So the course helps you figure out. It helps you create your marketing plan. Your marketing plan is simply the plan of what you're going to say and when. And marketing is communicating with the people who are going to love your work, communicating with them about what's special about your work in a way they understand. So that is, sorry, I'm getting distracted by the chat. That is, that's what the class walks you through doing. That's what I was trying to say. It helps you identify what's special about your work, who your people are, how to communicate to those people, and make a plan for actually implementing it. So Tracy says, thank you for answering my Creative Live question. I can appreciate the way you answered it. Well, I am glad that you appreciate it. Thanks for waiting for me to get to it. I definitely want you to implement. I mean, I tell people this all the time. I occasionally will have somebody like buy a class and then buy another class and buy another class, and I will email them if I catch it and say, look, stop buying classes. You haven't had enough time to implement it. And in Liftoff, which isn't open now, but it's my 6-month program that walks you through 3 of my major classes in the map making, so goal setting and deciding where you want to go. And in that, we have once a month, we have Energize Weeks, which are just for implementation and maybe catching up or implementing or focusing on taking action on the things you've learned. Because you can't just endlessly ingest, you need to actually go and do stuff. Somebody in the chat asks, love what you just said about implement before buying more classes. I'm guilty. Any suggestions on actually implementing? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna take a drink of coffee. You guys ask me if you have another question. I'm gonna answer the question about implementing in just a second. Okay. Oh, and I'm drinking with a fancy paper straw because it's celebration day, right? Okay, so if you bought a course, whether it's this course or any course, and you find yourself not implementing and just learning, first of all, recognize that sometimes just taking in the information is enough to help you change your actions going forward. So if you have heard my Periscopes or my podcasts and you have heard that you should translate your language into your buyer's language, which I talk about all the time, and I teach all the time for free on Periscope and podcasts. What's different about the class is that I actually walk you through figuring that out for yourself in your own business. In other words, applying it to yourself. But even if you just heard me talk about it all the time, that idea is going to be embedded in your brain. And next time you think about writing a description or writing a tweet or doing an Instagram comment, you're going to remember that you should translate it into your customer's language. Maybe if it really soaked in, you might remember it, and then it might affect what you're doing. So that's the first thing, is to recognize, even if you haven't like done some big action from a class, probably what you learned has already started to shape. If it was a good class, it started to shape the way you think about things. So that's really my goal as a teacher, is to teach you how to think about business and marketing and profitability and goal setting and achievement. Is I want you to think about it in a way that's going to be effective for you. I don't care the individual tactics you do. Other teachers are all about the tactics, which is awesome. I care more that you are coming at it from knowing the approach. The approach is more important in most cases than the specific tactics. So keep in mind that even if you feel like you're not implementing it, give yourself credit for changing your approach and changing the way you think about things. Secondly, you actually need to do stuff, right? So the key to implementing a class that you've taken is to make yourself an action guide, is what I call it, or what do I call it? Action plan. An action plan for when you're done with a class or even a specific lesson. Okay, I learned XYZ. If you're in one of my classes, you did a bunch of worksheets. Now what? Now, how do I implement that? Do I add this to all my descriptions? Like maybe in one of the first weeks of Craft Your Marketing, you come up with like what your message is. So where do I put this message? Do I put it in my Etsy welcome message? Do I put it on the homepage of my website? Do I change my Instagram profile? What do I actually do? And I, of course, tell you all the places you could put it, but then you need to decide where you're going to put it and then do it. So you give yourself an action plan at the end of each week or at the end of a whole class. Decide what actions you want to take from it. In Liftoff, I actually just finished writing this lesson. After you've done these 6 months of classes, I have you gather up all your notes and look through everything you said you wanted to do, and anything you haven't done yet, put it all together and then prioritize based on your current goals and what you think is going to be most effective. And I walk you through how to prioritize that. And then you put it on your calendar and you do it. So you can take that same process for any class, whether it's my classes or somebody else's classes. Look for the actions. So if it is a class super heavy on theory, or you're reading a book, ask yourself, what are the actions I'm going to take from this? Make a list, prioritize, put it on your calendar. Now, a lot of things like updating your descriptions or adding something to the welcome thing on your Etsy, you could literally take the message that you create about your marketing message in Craft Your Marketing that you make in, I think it's the first week, and you could take about an hour and put that in all the places you need to put it. So it's not like it takes a long time. The thinking is what takes time. The implementation is often not that much time. Now in marketing, there's also the ongoing implementation, right? So for that, you can't just take one action and be done with consistently posting on Instagram, right? That's not like a one-time thing. So for that, you need to build a system and habits around it. Decide when you're going to do it, how it's going to be a part of your day, the kind of things you're going to share. Maybe use a tool so that you could schedule reminders for yourself, and then start doing it, and then forgive yourself. If you miss a time, if you go a whole week without posting, get right back up on the horse. Like, just keep doing it. The key to all of this marketing consistency is to have a plan, create systems around it, turn them into habits, and then every time it falls away and you haven't done it, start again. That's it. Nobody does it perfectly. Nobody does it all of the time. Nobody. They just keep going back to it so they seem consistent. Does that make sense? And are there any questions? If there are, you can ask. If you're watching on my site, you can ask in the chat box. If you're on Periscope, you can ask on Periscope. That's a really good question about how to implement. Craft Your Marketing comes with an action plan that helps you collect up all the actions that you've went through. Is it possible to do the class without the book in the Starship? So if you're in the Starship, you have access to the PDF of the book. So no, it's not possible to do the class without the book. You can do it without the physical copy of the book, but the homework and all the lessons are within the book. And then there are audio lessons on top of that, and to dive deeper into it or to update some of it. So I have way more examples. When the book came out in 2012, Instagram wasn't a thing. And so I give more examples for like Instagram usage. I also go deeper into, okay, so to answer your question, if you're in the Starship and you want to take Craft Your Marketing, go look in the Starship library. You have access to Market Yourself, the PDF. Also use a coupon code that you will get when you sign up for Craft Your Marketing. If you want to buy a copy of the book, it's $10 off for everyone who joins Craft Your Marketing. Those of you who buy it today will get a copy sent to you. Yay, for free. So ignore that coupon code because you're going to get one in the mail anyhow. Or you can do what was her name? Tabitha did. And you're welcome, Kristen. Oh, I couldn't see your name earlier. Tabitha got a free book because she bought it before today. And then she bought another one using her coupon code for a friend, for her to give to a friend. And they were going to do a read along together, which I love. Karen is another person who just like buys copies of the book every month or something. It's crazy. And the class has a PDF included as well. That's right. So your class, your welcome email, when you purchase a class, will come with a PDF of Market Yourself, my book. It'll come with a coupon code to buy it. But if you buy it today, you're going to get it free. So don't go buy another one unless you just want to. And it will also, at the end of the class, you will get a coupon code $100 off of the Starship when the Starship opens the next time. That's my online community that includes forums and accountability partners and weekly chats and the library that has access to all of my classes. So you get that as well. I'm trying to think. Yeah. You can read about all this at tarasweiger.com/CYM if you want to hear what's included. So are there questions, more questions about the class? I'm here to answer your questions about the class. Oh, something else. So if you join today, there are 2 bonuses. There is the free copy of my book sent to you, signed by me. And there's also access. You'll get invited to the live Q&A, which is kind of similar to this, that I do every month where I answer, wait, let's back up. You get access to the live Q&A that is usually exclusive to Starship and Liftoff members. Those are the only people who are ever invited to it, and I answer all of their questions, and they're usually related to the classes we just worked through together. But if you join by next Friday, or if you join today, you'll get this, and you'll get access to that Q&A where you can ask me all of your questions about the class, because the class is all delivered via email and there's no community component to it. But for those who join before next Friday, you will get the community component of getting to ask me your questions and get my specific answers to it. The Q&A is on the 17th, but you have to join by the 5th to get it because I want you to work through the classes and ask me your questions based on the classes. So I get a lot of like just general kind of marketing questions, and I'm happy to answer those on Periscope, on the podcast, via email, but your questions will be better if you've worked through the class because you'll be able to ask like specifically for my business. So this is something I realized when I very first started helping people with their creative businesses. So if you guys don't know, I'm going to give you a little bit of background. I started my handmade yarn business. You can see my hand spun yarn right there in making sure the videos are still going. Okay. I started it in 2006. I started working at it hardcore in 2007. By 2009, it had grown to the point where it replaced my day job salary, and I left my day job and started doing it full time. When I did, I wrote a blog post. I was like, woo! And the very first business people I ever talked to help them in their business were actually a couple that came to a craft show I was doing in Seattle and like talked to me for over an hour asking me, how did you do it? We read on your blog you quit your day job. How did you do it? How did you make it happen? What kind of marketing did you do? What are your sales like? What are your costs like? We talked for an hour and I was like so high on that. It was so awesome. I asked them all these questions. I learned about their business. See, before I quit my day job, I was talking to other people about their businesses to like learn and absorb and like find out how they did stuff and like what methodology they used and how are they keeping track of their expenses and all kinds of things, all the questions you ask in your business, right? And I was super obsessed with learning about business. I mentioned yesterday on the Periscope that I was in an MBA program and I read all the business books. I loved learning about business. So when that couple asked me the question, I was like, I love talking about this. So I went back and I think I wrote another blog post that was like, I love talking about business. Let's talk about business. So people started emailing me. And the question, and just like businessy questions, but and then I held a Q&A. And to get access to the Q&A, which is on like a teleconferencing line because old school internet, it was late 2009 when I did that. I think January, yeah, it was late 2009, early 2010. And I answered questions for 2 hours on the phone with like 30 or 50 other makers. And what I realized, this is the point I was getting to, is that answering individual questions is fine. I can do it all day long. It makes you feel great, but it's not an effective way for you to go about your business. Asking one question and getting one answer is not the way you build your business. It's just not. It's not the way you build an effective marketing plan. It's not the way you build profitability. It's not the way you set and achieve goals, because each question, each issue is a symptom of the health of your business. And so it's like if I have I'm trying to think of a non-gross medical example. I was going to say, it's like if I have a rash and I keep putting lotion on the rash and the rash won't go away and my skin is dry and itchy and I just keep putting lotion on it. I need to not look at the rash. I need to look at what is causing the rash. Am I having an allergic reaction? If so, I got to get rid of ingesting the thing that's making me allergic. Like I have to work on the inside of my body for my skin to be okay. Does that make sense? I don't know if that was a great metaphor, but the same is true of your business. I want to work on like your internal organs of your business so that the rash, which is the question, never comes up. So that when you get the rash, you can answer it yourself. You can figure out the answer. So the question of like, what kind of stuff should I post on Instagram if I only have a few products? Well, you first need to know who you're trying to reach and what you want to say on Instagram. In other words, you need to know your marketing plan and how it includes Instagram, and then you have the answer to that question. I can give you all kinds of ideas off the top of my head, but that doesn't deal with a root issue, which is you don't have a marketing plan and you don't know what you're sharing anywhere, and you don't know how to translate your message into what your people care about. Right? Okay. I'm going to revisit the chat. Nobody has asked a new question there. Just join class today equals free signed hard copy of the book. Yes. Marcia is summarizing what I've said. Welcome if you guys just got here. I love the idea of having you speak with my vendors. Where are you located? Oh, cool. Okay. I'll answer that in a question, Monica. In a minute, Monica. Let me first say this. If you are just joining us, welcome. I'm Tara Swigert. I help makers and artists feel awesome talking about their work. And one of the ways I do that is in my new online workshop, Craft Your Marketing. You can find more about it at taraswiger.com/CYM. Today is the last day to join and get a free physical signed copy of my book mailed to you. So I wanted to answer everybody's questions that they had about the course before that deadline comes up. So that's what we're doing here. If you have a question about the course, ask it now. And Monica said, where am I? Because you'd love to have me come talk to your vendors. I'm in East Tennessee, right near the Virginia, North Carolina border. And if you're a stalker, please don't come kill me. But I travel all over. So next week I'm going to teach outside of Baltimore, Maryland. And last year I taught a lot on the West Coast, both in San Diego and Seattle. I'm going to Charleston in July. I'm going to the UK in November. I'm going to the UK in November. No, I didn't think you were a stalker, Monica. I meant just like in general, if anybody's watching who wants to come kill me, like don't. I would prefer if you didn't. So I don't know where you're at, Monica, but we can definitely talk. You can email me. Actually, the best way is to email Vulcan, VULCAN, @tarasweiger.com and say in the body of it that you'd like me to come teach. And Jess will reply with my teaching guidelines, like what you can expect it to cost, like, for travel and food and my teaching fees. And then also a list of the classes I do. And then what I did when I worked with the other organizer is we came up with a classes specifically aimed for her people. Oh, you're in Milwaukee. Yes, I've never been there. I only is it Laverne and Shirley? Yeah, no, I haven't really been to that part of considered the Midwest. I'm from Ohio, and Ohioans are like always consider themselves the Midwest, but Milwaukee, that's even more west and more mid. Yes, I would love to come. I will have to do the Laverne and Shirley dance though, so as long as you're prepared to deal with that. You just email us, vulcan@tarasweiger.com, if you want me to come and teach your people and make stupid old 50s, 70s TV show references. Yes, okay, so I don't see any more questions in the chat room. Oh, well, the other thing, I can't hear Milwaukee, and no, there will be no video evidence. So why did Wayne's World. That's what I think of when I think of Milwaukee, is Wayne's World, and in the first Wayne's World movie where he meets Alice Cooper, and Alice Cooper gives him the Native American origin of the name Milwaukee. So yeah, I might watch Wayne's World at least 3 times a year. So any more questions about Craft Your Marketing, the course? You can find all the details at tarasweiger.com/CYM. And just a reminder, today is the last day to buy it and get a free signed copy of my book. You'll also get access to an exclusive Q&A that I'm just doing with my online community. So you can ask your questions after you've gotten a chance to work through the course a little bit and get my specific feedback about the parts, this hair, of your marketing plan. And yeah. If you buy after today, it'll still be open. You'll get a coupon code for the signed copy of the book, and you'll get a free PDF copy of the book, which everybody gets when they join. And if you're in Liftoff or Starship, you already have Craft Your Marketing. So this is me offering the class I made specifically for my community. I'm offering it to the rest of the world. So yay! And I've taught this a lot in person, but I hadn't made it available online in this format for you guys before now. If you are brand new to me and you're like, why is she talking about her course? I don't want you to buy the course. I want you to go to tarasweiger.com/talk. That's crazy, Jolie. I want you to go to tarasweiger.com/talk. You'll get a free worksheet, how to talk about your work, and you'll get a 9-part e-course on improving your marketing, what marketing means, how to become effective at it, how to figure out where your people are and show up there, which is the most popular lesson so far. I've gotten emails from people who are like, I saved this email in Evernote because it's basically a course in and of itself, and I'm going to work through it. It's like awesome. So the e-course is super packed with usefulness. Yes, and it's tarasweiger.com/talk. So if you were just finding me on Periscope, or you just subscribed to my emails like a week ago and that's how you got the reminder for the Q&A, get to know me better, take the e-course. The e-course will remind you of Craft Your Marketing, but I wanted to let you guys know today, last day to join, get a free signed copy of the book. And with that, I think we're done. I saw your email, Jolie. It made me smile. I mean, I saw it in my inbox. I haven't read it yet, because I've been doing this. But I super appreciate you guys, and I hope that you are having a wonderful weekend, beginning of weekend. I'm about to go start my weekend. If you have more questions about crafter marketing, please feel free to email me. If you're getting that e-course, just hit reply to any of them. It goes to me. I'll be happy to respond, answer any of your questions. I want to do them in this format because so many of you guys had the same questions. I think it's best to just like answer it for everybody. But you can also just email me directly and ask me your questions. Always ask. Always ask. I want you to buy what's right for you. And I regularly tell people, I don't think this is right for you. So asking me does not mean you're going to get a harder pitch. I'm probably going to tell you, no, don't buy it. So thank you guys so much. Have a really fantastic day. And I'm going to check the chat room one more time. Excellent. No more questions? If you're on Periscope, type it in now. If you're in the chat room, type it in now. I'm going to take one more drink of my iced coffee, which sadly is all watered down now. Okay, if you're just joining us, go back and watch from the beginning because we're wrapping up. Thank you guys so much for being here, for asking good questions, for being awesome. I appreciate you. I'm going to stop the recording if you're watching it on my site. Thanks guys so much. Remember, you can go to tarasweiger.com/CYM to watch more. If you're watching it on my website, there's a big register button and a link below the chat room. Thanks. Bye.